Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, sometimes we get maps that are based on different computer games. We've had Final Fantasy, we've had Red Dead Redemption, we've had Grand Theft Auto. Now we seem to be going to the days of the Nokia. Now, admittedly, this map is not based upon the game Snake, but it has some definite strong resemblances, so I'm just going to say that it is. As a creator we haven't done on the show before, it's not their first map, it's their second map, but it is a little bit special. It's going to be memorable. You are not going to forget today's map, mostly for the right reasons, one or two wrong reasons, but I think we can get over those because we're all friends together. And if you like being friends, then a very good way of showing that is by clicking the like button. That's right, being friends with this guy is definitely something to aspire to. Thumbs up to you, mate. Anyway, today's map is Snake Island by Metaheros. Now, I've been umming, is this Metaheros or Metaheros? I'm going to go Metaheros and just assume it's not a typo. Why would you typo your own name, huh? There's your start square. Yeah, there's very hard to make out what's going on. We'll have a look when we get down there. Your terrain heights across the map, it's mostly plateaus. The areas that you want to build on, you can actually build on. And the resources, we've got a strong mix across pretty much all of the map. All credit for that. If you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, well, it's a good mix of fishing as well. Not too much in the way of tuna that I can see, but other than that, very strong. Off to the workshop. What do we need? No DLC required today. In fact, the only thing that we'll be using is the evergreen colour correction and the Owls Mediterranean alternative theme, which is actually in the description rather than the requirement items. Right, now there are connections, outside connections on both sides of the map. We'll have a look at the other side of the map when we get there. We're going to just start off over here. We'll have a fairly early intermission because this isn't a very long connection. Big old bridge, everybody loves a big old bridge, connecting us from the edge of the map into the actual Snake itself. And if we come down between these two highways, we get a nice aesthetic view from down here between. And yeah, it's a bit high, it's a bit clunky, it's a fantasy map. We're going to be forgiving a few things, not everything, but a few things, because it is a fantasy map. We don't expect true realism from this. I'm going to question this bridge segment in the middle. Why have we got a bridge? Is this because we got shipping going through the middle of that? If we have, then I think there might be a collision on that pillar in the middle. Maybe. We'll check that one out. That'll come immediately after the intermission. We'll be checking out the shipping routes as always. Bit of a janky going on there. Jankies go left, jankies go right. A little bit of a janky. And then we have an elevated wonky disaster of a roundabout. I think that's the only way of putting this one, actually. Yeah, that's very awkward. Of all descriptions, I think awkward's probably the politest I can come up with. Then we have the start square, which you access here. I would say I'd like these two highways to come in at ground level. It just makes life a little bit easier for the city builder. So I'm just going to drop these to ground level. Obviously, this is only in the review. If you subscribe to this on the workshop, this will still be elevated, unless, of course, Metaheros decides to upgrade it down to ground level. I'm not going to do a lot of work here. I'm just going to down to ground level there, and I'm just going to move it to drop those two down. So I could use the line height, but that would do. That's enough. That's good enough. So yeah, I think that makes life a little bit more playable for the player. Start square is right there. Plenty of flat build space in there. But we'll be checking out the entire Snake Island as a whole on the other side of this intermission. Don't miss my new YouTube series as I enter the world of virtual reality. Get dropped randomly somewhere in the world and have to work out, where on earth am I? Join me from Friday evenings as I get lost, go wandering and try to stick a pin into a map. Will I be around the corner or on the wrong continent? And can you do better? I'll see you then. And so back to the shipping routes. Now, the shipping routes, I don't mind there are going to be a few that go into the valleys, or the alcoves, the fjords, for want of a better phrase. Sharp right angle turn. There's no reason for that. We're going to be going into a few and looping back out. I don't mind them too much on this particular map. A little bit of shipping clipping through those two pillars there, and a little bit of shipping clipping on that pillar there. Heading over here through the islands, fairly smooth turn there. We have a beached boat. That is very bad indeed. That's not really part of the plan. You don't really want that to be happening. Shipping routes going through islands is a bad thing. As you can see, if we come out there and take a left, we're going through islands, more islands. You're just not going to get up that way, and through an island there as well, for that matter. Anyway, this loops in here, loops around up here, and loops back out. Now, we do have another shipping connection over here, which loops in and out. I say I don't mind these because of the style of the map, so I don't mind when they loop in and out. But I'm taken aback by these sharp right-angle turnings, because that's a bit of a pain. Bit of an eggplant connection going on there, and then we have a right-angle turning out here, which loops around to another sharp turning here, if you want to go back out off of the map. And then an eggplant connection here, which actually somehow managed to avoid all of the pillars. Right there and right there. But it doesn't actually go through the middle bridge. I don't know what that middle bridge is all about, to be honest with you. Anyway, the eggplant connection just loops around here and back out the other way. Water flow doesn't matter too much because we have access to water on both sides of the start square. But if you are still worried about it, there is actually fairly reasonable water flow at both locations. So that is good to go. Speaking of good to go, shall we have a little go along the entire length of this snake? I think we should. Now, again, fantasy map, so I don't actually mind. We've got a few, I mean, one or two of them got their feet in the water, but I don't mind these trees on the beach that much at all. I think aesthetically, it helps to blend the beach into the land. So actually, I don't mind that at all on this occasion. It's an exception to the rule, and I'm allowed to break my own rules. I love the plateaus on this area here, enabling you to get up and do multi-tier city building. And then there's just a lot of diverse variations of playable plateaus along here. Some areas that you can't build into, and I think that's by design, and that's fine. One or two dips going on here. A little bit of resource painting there as well, which just makes it look really quite aesthetically pleasing. Got the water spewing volcano there as well. Again, fantasy map, so that is absolutely okay on this occasion. Then we have this marsh area here, and I really don't know. I'm going to give benefit of the doubt to the creator. We've got a lot of drowned trees. There's going to be other occasions where I can throw in the usual joke, but here I think benefit of the doubt to the creator. I'm going to let that go. We have everybody's favourite factory for no reason whatsoever. And then we have, it's a castle. It's just a plopped castle. It's fine. Past the start square, because we're going to be coming back here to check out the asset of the day. And then down here we have a double ridge of hills, enabling you to build along the beaches, and then build a separate town away from the beaches in the valley. So there's so many variations on this map. It's actually really quite pleasing. Heading around here, we go bend around because we're going to go off the edge of the map again. Don't want to do that because that'll be game over if you hit the edge. This little area here is, it's alright, I guess. Doesn't excite me that much. These islands here I think are more for aesthetics, something in the background. I don't think you'd be doing any building on there, but you could if you really wanted to. And then heading back down this way. Now, the next bit here, this is a bit of a gouge of a river. I don't know that I really buy into this river at all, but we'll let it go, because the worst thing that could happen is you'd have loads of drowned trees in there, and, well, that wouldn't be a good thing. But lots of very interesting variations going on across the map. I mean, up here, here we go, drowned trees in the river. First of all, that shape's quite nice. But yeah, it is a bit gouged out, and these are wearing their trunks. Yes, they are. While they have a little swim, and quite right too. But yeah, those aren't marsh areas. Those are errors. Interesting little bit of detailing, terrain work going on here. And these are all sort of like blocking off the areas, enable you to, well, you'll have to find tunnels or ways around to get around those areas. Here we have river on one side, river there. What this gouge in the middle is for, I don't know. Again, benefit of the doubt to the creator, who seems to know what they're doing with these rivers. That maybe that's supposed to be a dry river. I don't know. Then I did say there was connections on both sides of the map, and there is a second connection going on over here. We have the two highways coming in from the side there, hitting the ground running. One or two trees, yeah, doing their usual thing, encroaching onto the highways. And then, had we fallen short of this plateau, I think we've been better. But that is a rather ugly looking connection up onto this ridge up here. And then the rail going back down the other side is, had this been just a smooth transitional, I would have, because it's a fantasy map, I would have said, yeah, the gradient's too sharp, but it's fine. But it's bumpy as well. And I'm not, I can't let that go. It's a sandcastle. Oh well, all these years and we've never had a sandcastle. Well done. We now have had a sandcastle. What's over here? We've got more Park Life rocks, another it's a castle, and another essential lighthouse as well. Not too much to say about that. Again, location for the lighthouse doesn't really matter on this map because it's a fantasy map. It's fine. You can have one on the top of the mountain for all I care. This is another impassable area that you'll have to use tunnels or a clever little road to get around. And again, it's very aesthetically striking. Not going to say pleasing. Pleasing is in the eye of the beholder. I would say striking and memorable. And those two things are definite positives on this particular map. Because there are going to be those of you that look at this and go, oh, this is ugly. Yeah, I would totally agree with you. It is ugly. It's also beautiful. I love this. I absolutely adore this. I think it's got a really pleasing aesthetic for me, but I can understand how somebody else would look at it and go, yep, totally with you. Totally with you. Don't disagree with you at all. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, which is very lucky when it comes to me and my dating. Then we have, we get to the head of the snake up here. That is very rugged and very bold. And I like that. That's exactly how you should have ended that island. And I'm glad it just didn't taper out into a big old beach. Lovely. There's those islands. Oh, hang on. This isn't how ships are born. This is just kinky. That is just kinky. Okay? That is like the ferry centipede going on there. Not approved of. No, look away. Look away now. Back to the start square. Plenty of build space over here. And a beauty. And I'm not understating this one. It's an absolute beauty. It's the Albert Memorial, Kensington Gardens, London, by PeterBar. PeterBar does the best monuments, don't they? Look at this. They've even given a shout out on their workshop page to people like Raccoon or whatever, who have helped in putting this together. This is spectacular and just spot on. And we're going to do a factoid because it's that time of the show where we do factoids. We have The Longest Kiss, may have been extended since then, but I don't know so much because movie attention span is much shorter than it used to be. The longest kiss in the history of Hollywood came in the 1941 film You're in the Army Now, where Reg Toomey and Jane Wyman were locked together for 3 minutes and 5 seconds. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I think now, anything more than about 3 or 4 seconds, I'm happy, I'm done, you know. I get bored. Albert Memorial, Kensington Gardens, London, by PeterBar. Today's asset of the day. Oh, okay, I'll make it 10 seconds, but don't tell your mother. Don't tell your mother, no. What do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen, take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Patreon or an Apple login. But what do I think of today's map? Well, I think aesthetically it's striking, it's memorable. I find it actually very aesthetically pleasing. I think the theme and luck combos work very nicely. There's 1 or 2 things that make you go, and all that. But overall, I think it's 4 stars. I would go middle 4, but the and the ahs just a bit lower. Just slightly under middle 4. Detailing, there's some nice ideas. I don't think it's highly polished or anyway, and certainly the networking is ag. I'm going to go middle 3. because while the networking is a little bit ag, I don't think it brings the whole map down. It's just one or two patches, literally. Main patches though. Gameplay potential, yeah, I think it's pretty playable. I'm going to go for a lowish 4 though, because I think it's one that you'll only want to play once. You might want to play it twice, but definitely not a third time. Snake Island by Metaheros. I like this. I'm really glad we've reviewed this. And if you're not into fantasy maps, the maps are just a little bit different, then there'll be another map along tomorrow. We always have another map coming along tomorrow, apart from Saturdays, because we don't do maps on Sundays. But that's beside the point. Anyway, that is it. We've made it to the end of another show. If you're still here, use the word of the day into the comments to score yourself 100 population points to prove you're part of the 20 and out elite. The elite crew that make it to the last 20 seconds of the show. And you are part of that crew. And I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Have a great day and I'll see you soon.